Okay, we are live. Welcome back to a National Vlogs stream. This is weird. Using a new software for it, so yeah, we're using a different software than to what we would normally use. Normally, guys, we would be using YouTube's sort of stream, like webcam sort of software, but for this one, we're doing it differently. We're actually using StreamYards, which is a different software. I use this for my sort of online comedy gigs, so I know that it's quite a good software. But yeah, we're probably going to do the stream till, I'm going to say 5:30, because I've got something on at 6. So we're going to be going for a good 45 minutes or so. I'm going to get the chat up on another screen for me to see. But yeah, it'll be good if we can get some questions in. You never know. I think we might get a couple of guests on. Maybe, I'm not too sure. Depends on who we get on in a second. I'm going to get... I'll just give it a second. There's going to be a slight echo in a sec. Who we get on? Okay, there we are. Right. So apparently we got one person watching. I don't know if that's me or if someone else is. But yeah, guys, come on. Let's get some comments going, because it is the scare season now. It all kicks off properly this Friday. It fully kicks off here on National Vlogs. This Friday we're going to be at Thorpe Park Fright Nights for their festival event. From what I saw filming the construction update the other week, I saw that it was just, there was some really exciting stuff on Park, and I can't wait to film for you guys. Obviously, next week, when I am at the park, I will be filming. Hopefully, I'm going to film some POVs from inside scare zones. I won't be filming the mazes. I don't think I'm doing the mazes this week. I don't think I'm going to be doing the mazes this week, but I will be going back a few times during the event to try out the mazes. We've got 2 people watching. Come on, let's get some questions coming in. I'm going to take my name off there because it's slightly getting on my nerves. Very, very slightly. And then I'm going to push the chair forward and we're going to, get some comments going. This is weird the way I'm doing it because I've got my bed in the background, but okay. This is weird. Let's ignore it. Okay, come on. Let's get some questions going. Guys, let me know. Are you excited for the scare season? I am. I can tell you that now. You know what? I am going to stand up because this is actually aggravating me slightly. But yeah, guys, are you looking forward to scare season? I am. I literally, I cannot wait till freaking, what the fuck? No, honestly, truthfully, guys, I cannot wait for Friday, because I genuinely think festival down at Fright Nights this year is going to be pretty insane. I think I'm going to try, if possible. I don't know where this is going to go, but I'm going to try and get the Fright Nights page up on screen, and then we can look at what's there, and then we can talk about each one. Okay, I'm going to try this. Hang on. Right. Okay, let's try. Let's share screen. Hang on. Right, hang on. Okay. Right, hang on. I have no idea how to do this. Okay, hang on. Yep, I think we've got that. Okay. Right, hang on. Hang on a minute. Let me... I have no idea what I'm doing. Right, hang on. I think I know what I need to do here, but it's not gonna... It's probably not gonna go down well. Okay, hang on. Guys, let's get some questions in while I'm trying to sort what I want to get on screen. Okay, there we are. Yeah, that's what I want. Okay, right. Okay, yeah, that's what I want on the screen. Okay. All right, cool. So, we're going to talk about Fright Nights Festival first. So, Festival this year is sort of a rebrand of Fright Nights. To be honest, I think it's going to go down well. You know, from what I've seen in construction as well on Park, it's definitely going to feel like a park-wide event compared to previous years. Obviously, those who went to Fright Nights 2018, they tried doing like a park-wide sort of theme, which was Nowhere is Safe. The home last year was the home of fear, and it didn't feel like that, to be honest. It felt too safe. But yeah, we're going to go through Festival, and we're going to go through. Yeah, we're going to go through what's at Festival. Okay, there we are. Yeah, okay. You're going to go through Festival and tell you what's there. But this is actually working a lot. Oh, no, don't do that. But I'm doing that so that I'm able, you know, to see it better. Okay. Okay, so you've got a lot of attractions at Festival this year. You know, you got quite a bit of the event this year, which I'm quite happy for. So I think we'll go through each sort of attraction bit by bit and sort of talk about what's there and what I personally think of like each attraction that's there this year. Don't forget to comment your thoughts. I'm just thinking, can I? All right, that's better. Yeah, that's better. Okay, yeah, that one's better. Yeah, that one's better, I think. Okay, yeah. So we're going to go through each one bit by bit. So we're going to start off with Creek Freaks Unchained. So Creek Freaks Unchained this year is the new sort of Creek Freak Massacre themed scare zone. I'm going to say this from construction that I witnessed on Park the other day. It's definitely going to be a scare zone. Like, it's definitely more of a scare zone. Like, it feels like a proper scare zone. Like, and the fact that also just like they've turned the old town area into like scenes. Like, there's little scenes throughout like the experience. Unlike other scare zones in the past, you know, some parks that have done scare zones in the past have sort of been like, you know, it's just a one-way path and there's very little theming and there's no like scenes. It's just like actor, 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 like that. Whereas this one, construction-wise, they've incorporated not just the format of a scare zone, but it feels like a mix of a scare zone and a scare maze. So it's a full-on scare experience. I think the best way to describe this Creek Freaks Unchained, I think the best way to describe it is it's a sequel to Creek Freak Massacre. Do I think it's going to be a suitable sequel? Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So obviously we're going to read the description on the page. This is the official Thorpe Park website for Creek Freaks Unchained. So the description is as follows. New for 2020. How much wood would a wood chop if a wood chop could chop you? The freaks of the creek have hacked their way out of Creekwood sawmill and are wreaking havoc on the town. Tread carefully past the deranged family of lumberjacks, lest you find yourself chugging gasoline fumes on the run end of a chainsaw. Brace yourself and prepare for the gruesome worst as you take on the chainsaw massacre madness of Creek Freaks Unchained. So, the description for Creek Freaks Unchained is to say very, very similar to last year's description for Creek Freak Massacre. They've just sort of adapted it to say that it will be outside. Obviously, those who have watched my construction update, you will know that there is a good amount of theming in the area. There's like it's sort of utilised. There's like a little under shelter bit in the middle between where Loggers Leap Station and the Canada Creek Station is. They've actually sort of made that like a little scene. So there's like, I think that from what I remember, there's some buckets. You know, there's some buckets and there's like a boiler, like a giant furnace sort of thing. So maybe someone's going to get burned alive. I don't know. There's rumours going around saying that it's going to be the Buckwheat Bar, but I don't think it is. I think it's going to be like a big sort of furnace. I think it's going to be a scene where we're going to potentially see someone, maybe a victim of the buckwheats being burnt alive. Yo, Coaster Dan, what's up, dude? Guys, everyone go subscribe to Coaster Dan. Don't forget. Also, those who haven't heard about the Reckless Comedy Podcast, I actually did an interview with Dan months ago now. And also I appeared on Off the Tracks. So at the moment, we're just going through the sort of WhatsApp festival this year. You know, so if anyone, including Dan, has any questions, you know, leave it in the comment. And Dan, if you want to jump on, like, let me know. Because otherwise I'm talking to myself here. Never mind. Anyway, so like I was saying, there's like a giant sort of furnace down at down in Old Town where Creek Freaks Unchained was. Those who didn't do Creek Freak Massacre last year, you missed out. It was a brilliant maze, like chainsaws, strobe lights, heat, smoke, all sorts, like actors on higher levels. It was an insane maze. And it was nominated for an award as well. And it's a shame that it didn't win like any awards. Like it's a shame they didn't win any awards, sadly, but it was still a good maze. So obviously, Creek Freaks Unchained is it's going to be in Old Town. Now, originally, when this was announced, I thought it would only be using like a little bit of Old Town, but no, it's actually going to be using pretty much the whole sort of Old Town area where Timber Tugboat, Lumber Jump, and that sort of area is. And it looks pretty mad. And also, interestingly, it's literally right next to the area where Platform 15 is going to be exiting this year. So the fact that you're going to exit Platform 15... Yeah, no worries, dude. If you got to shoot off in 10 minutes, I'll get you on message me later and I'll try and get you on like a stream and we can cross promote. But yeah, if you got any opinions on what's there this year, obviously, you know, boom, let me know. Yeah, so Creek Freaks Unchained is obviously, no, like I was saying, Platform 15 is going to exit and you're going to go straight into Creek Freaks. So this is going to be, it's going to be interesting how they stop the groups from merging. That's going to be interesting to see how they're going to stop the groups from Platform 15 merging with the guests going through Creek Freaks. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. Obviously, this is in Old Town. It will be from 3 o'clock, and it looks interesting. Definitely, it's out of all the scare zones, this is one of my highly anticipated ones. I do like how Thorpe are doing scare zones this year more than mazes. You know, you look at some of these promotional pictures from last year. The logo for it this year looks absolutely insane, to be frank. Let's go on to the Swarm Invasion. So the Swarm Invasion is another new scare zone for this year. This is going to be the first time that a scare zone has featured on the Swarm Island. Obviously, a few years ago, you did have The Walking Dead Sanctum down on Swarm Island, but on the little sort of service area behind the Swarm. But yeah, so Creek Freaks. Swarm Invasion. So the story is, enter the dystopian wasteland after dark as the swarm has invaded, leaving a path of carnage and desolation in its wake. Head caution as you pass through this alien-infested landscape and pray you aren't abducted by these otherworldly extraterrestrials. The Swarm Invasion, the end is now. I'm going to be straight up honest. I feel like this is going to be Thorpe Park's version. Right, let me explain this. I think the Swarm Invasion is going to be a mix of Thorpe's idea of a swarm-themed scare zone mixed with maybe elements of subspecies from Alton Towers. I feel like it's going to be a mix between the swarm and subspecies. Because, you know, the alien sort of extraterrestrials. Now, obviously, we do not currently know what these alien creatures are going to look like. Obviously, we've seen what the roaming characters known as the crows are going to look like, and they look absolutely fucking terrifying. I am not going to lie, the crows are fucking terrifying. It is absolutely terrifying what the crows are going to look like. Swarm Invasion, for me, it is a highly anticipated scare zone for this year. It's another scare zone which I'm really looking forward to, especially at night. Anyone who's been on Swarm Island after dark, you know how beautiful that area is with like all the lights and the little red lights on the Swarm as well. Obviously, I was on Park over the weekend for Oktoberfest, and I managed to get a sort of sunset sort of ride on Swarm, which I quite enjoyed it because I've never had a sunset ride on the Swarm. But yeah, obviously, this is located on Swarm Island from 3 o'clock. So everything's sort of starting at 3. Now, my only criticism with Fright Nights, and I've had this criticism for the last... I've had this criticism now for the last 4 years now, okay? I've had this criticism for the last 4 years. Okay? Fright Nights just started at 3 o'clock. you look at Scarefest at Towers, that always has a sort of like, what, a 6 p.m. No, a 1 o'clock in the afternoon start. Like the mazes start opening up at 1 o'clock. All right, Dan, cool. You know, you get these sort of, you get the mazes opening up at like 1 o'clock at Towers, and then you get Thorpe opening them up at 3. It annoys me. You know, there is a little thing I am going to talk about when we get onto Roots of Evil in a couple of minutes. You know, we're going to be getting onto. You're right, Alex. Alex Mathias. Hope you're doing well, dude. But yeah, you know, you got, like I say, I've always given Thorpe this criticism. You know, I genuinely don't think they should be opening the mazes at like 3. For me, personally, I think they should be opening at 1. Well, I'll say this. Fright Nights 2017, but a little bit of a funny story when I did that, is when I was at Fright Nights 2017, they had a couple of mazes which would open at midday, and a couple of mazes would open at 3 o'clock. So I think the mazes that would open at midday were Platform, Living Nightmare, and Sanctum. So the 2 Walking Dead mazes. It would be the 2 Walking Dead mazes would open at midday, alongside Platform 15 and Saw Alive. That was in 2017. You know, that's back then. That's what it was back then. And then, sort of, as half term turned up, they then put it to all the mazes would open at 3 o'clock. I will say this: I genuinely do not think they should be doing a 3 o'clock opening. You know, all right. We got our first special guest. We got Coaster Dan on. This guy, okay, this guy had a rant at Thorpe earlier. Not Thorpe, Merlin, weren't it? Yeah, Merlin. So let's get Coaster Dan on here. Let's get him on. All right. We won't.
Hello.
Evening.
Evening.
Well, I think.
Can you hear me all right, by the way? I don't know.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you well. So, I was just saying. Yeah. Oh, trust me, that's what we're getting into. Oh man, it was freaking. When I saw that, I was like, "Oh no, what have they done this time?"
Yeah, I'll let you continue, mate, and then we'll jump on, mate. Like, obviously, I don't want to kind of interrupt your spiel.
Yeah, like no worries, man. Where were we? Okay, yeah. So as I was saying, I'm not a fan of Fright Nights doing their like 3 p.m. opening, because if you think about it, the queues during the morning at Fright Nights, they're normally actually quite low, and if you've done all the rides and you're just going for the mazes, you've got to wait about 5 hours. And from experience, I've had that issue where I've done everything I want to do before the mazes, and then you're just waiting. You're just like, okay, you look at your watch, 3.5 hours. What are you going to do? You know, you either get in the queue, which is like 90 minutes or more, or you just hang around in the dome for 90 minutes or a couple of hours. Like, they did used to open them earlier, but if anything, I think they should take a book out of Towers'. They should take a page out of Towers' book and open them at 1, I think.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea, to be fair. Although I've just actually been speaking to someone, and they had actually a really good idea. You know, they've got like the fireworks no longer existing.
Yeah.
So why don't you use that week then to continue with Scarefest?
Yeah, they could extend it. I don't think they've ever done that in the past.
Just for Merlin Pass holders.
Yeah.
Why can't they do that?
I think Thorpe are doing something similar as well, aren't they? They're doing like I think they're doing like a pass holders like weekend after Fright Nights has ended, because they didn't get pass holder day at the start of the season.
I know that Alton Towers are doing a pass holder weekend near the end. However, though, surely they should kind of just continue the Scarefest. Now, I don't know if they've got contracts with them, with the actors and stuff. Not 100% sure, but it's To be fair, the amount of money what they would have spent on the fireworks, I'm sure they can spend an extra £100 on the flipping actors. Do you know what I mean? It's an absolute shambles, mate. To be fair, but yeah.
Yeah, like that's I think last year they definitely. I remember seeing they extended like Darkest Depths to be open for fireworks. So
Yeah.
I remember seeing that.
I don't know, mate. It's I'm sick and tired now of everyone trying to blame this the C word and the pandemic and all this lot. I'm sick and tired of hearing it now. This is Merlin Entertainment. This is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, industry in the world. It's bigger than, I think it's Disney. I don't know if it's Disney, then it's Merlin Entertainment, or the other way around. However, though, this is not a corner shop. You know what I mean? This is a huge, and it's just all money grabbers. All of them are. I was about to swear that. I don't know if I can swear on it, but yeah, I'm absolutely livid of how they've treated their loyal Merlin pass holders during this entire pandemic. It's been disgusting.
Oh, hang on a sec. I think we're working.
Yeah,
Still,
as far as I know, you're working.
I think.
Yo, why did you not hear me?
Hang on, you keep.
Yeah, you want me to keep talking?
You keep glitching out slightly. You keep glitching.
Oh, do I? Oh, that's not. All right, that can't be me, surely. To be fair, you're glitching a little bit.
Let me just see. Hang on. I think it's working all right for me.
Yeah, it's working fine for me.
Yeah, now it's working. Okay, now it's good. I think.
Is your internet dropping, or is it all right? Or is it the?
I think we're all right now. I think.
Cool.
It might be because I've got probably because I've got a share screen on as well, just to go through this stuff. But yeah, where was I? Oh yeah, let's get on to cover the other thing. I don't know what your opinion on this sort of lineup is, because this is the thing. Because Thorpe have got a lot there this year, they've done this in the past where they've had a load of stuff on the lineup and it's ended up being complete crap.
You see, I think the size of do you know what? I think Thorpe have got it right. They know that they're going to get a lot of people coming to the parks, so they need to spread the people out as much as they can by putting lots of mazes. Now, Alton Towers, unfortunately, they've only put 4 mazes on, and that's including the dungeons. I'm sure that's right. It's the dungeons. I'm not too sure, but yeah, I think they've got twice as many. Has they got 7? Have they 7 mazes, 6 mazes? I think they have. Thorpe.
I think altogether they've got it's about 7 experiences this year, which is a mix of. Yeah, it's a mix of scare zones, 2 mazes, and the roaming team, which I'm looking forward to. The roaming team.
They've only got 2 mazes.
Yeah, I'll get onto that while we're here. The 2 mazes they've got there this year. One of them's a returning maze, and the other one is a retheme of one that was already there.
Right. Okay.
So we're gonna just get onto those 2 mazes. So this caused quite a lot of sort of controversy when it was announced because of this. So you've got Roots of Evil, which is replacing last year's Blair Witch maze. That's down behind Jungle Escape, down in the jungle. And then okay. And then you've got Platform 15, which is the returning one, which is down. This year it's reversed. So it starts off at Samurai and goes all the way around to where Timber Tugboat is. Yeah. And the thing that caused a lot of controversy about it is they're doing what Alton Towers have done this year. Both of the mazes are £10 each.
I really want to go off the tracks on this one, mate. I really do. I really want to let loose, mate, and exactly tell you how I feel about this whole situation. Like I said, I'm not going to swear because it's your program. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, but I think it's absolutely disgusting. This whole situation they should just scrap all of it, because unfortunately, I think a lot of people would have accepted it and understood, like they have done with the fireworks being cancelled. Then it's like you're putting one foot in the water and one foot out. You're either in or you're out. Do you know what I mean? when it comes to stuff like this, when it comes to events. Now, Oktoberfest was a success, believe it or not. It was great. They spaced everyone out. Everyone had a good time. It was a drink, and it was literally for the full whack. It was all new. It was great. It was a new event. Now, with people with like your scare mazes and stuff, people have gone to these for years and years, right? And now all of a sudden, they've shot themselves in the foot by giving you only half a product of this Scarefest or Fright Nights or whatever it is. You're either in or you're out. You can't be in the middle because you're gonna annoy a lot of people, a lot of true hardcore theme park enthusiasts through this entire system. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, like this is the thing. When it all came out and people were like, "Oh, they're doing a paid maze. I'm not going this year." It's like, this is what I said. Have you not been looking at the Fright Nights lineup for the last few years? They've had additional paid experiences for the last few years. I genuinely don't know what you're moaning at. Like, for example, if you take your mind back to Fright Nights 2012, they had a maze called The Passing. That was £3. And then 2015, for the last couple of years, you've had Containment, which is their escape room in the little container down this Swarm. That's been £10 each year. And then they do this, so 20 quid for the two mazes. And all the people who were moaning, I just said to them, look, you guys moaned when they spray painted subspecies containers, for God's sake. I don't see what you're sort of moaning at. From what I've heard, the reason why they've decided to do it, from what I've heard, is to try and social distance to groups. But fuck knows what it is. I swear on here anyway, so.
But the thing is, though, dude, is then why not put more mazes on then?
Yeah, you could say that. It's interesting why they've only decided to bring 2 back. Well, technically, they've rethemed one of them and brought back the other one.
You want my honest opinion, Kim? I genuinely think that Merlin were panicking. They literally shit themselves. They were like, oh, my God, okay, the lift has happened. Fantastic. But we're not ready. We need to get actors. We need to get scenes set up. These scenes are not already in a warehouse. They have to rebuild. They have to build certain bits. They are, but the rest of it, they have to make it on that year. Now, because of this pandemic, I guaranteed it that they thought Merlin, that Scarefest or any of the other stuff was not going to happen. So what they've done is they proper panicked, and that's why you've only got 2 mazes at Thorpe Park and an absolute shambles at Alton Towers.
Yeah.
I would put my money on that. I would genuinely thought when it first happened, when they first released it in 4th of July, where all the parks were reopening, they thought, okay, now we can't physically do Scarefest or we can't do Fright Nights. We can't physically do it. Then they've obviously sat in a board meeting and go, listen, right, we need some extra income going on here. We need some cash. We've missed out on 3 or 4 months of, these people coming into the park. We need to get this money in. And they have truly panicked, and that's why you've only got 2 mazes. I don't mind paying. However, though, if you're going to get the same experience from last year and you pay £10, then I'll be pissed. Because it's like, well, hang about. You had this last year, and now you doubled the price. Nah, mate.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you. Like, that's the thing. Like, when they announced platform was going to be £10, I'm like, okay, if you're going to do it, I'm expecting to get £10 worth. Literally, I'm expecting to get my money's worth. Now, when I found out they had reversed it, so they've completely done a big switch around with the route. So you're going to go out where you used to come in, and you're going to go in where you used to come out. When I found out they had reversed it, I'm like, that's definitely a cheap way of doing it, ain't it? That's one way of doing it.
They weren't ready, Kim. They weren't ready. None of them were.
Yeah,
they genuinely thought they had to cancel Scarefest, and I think they should have. And I think a lot of people would have understood. They would have, me including, I would have said, you know what, fair dues. I totally understand. Same with fireworks. I totally understand why they are cancelling fireworks. You physically can't control that amount of people, and to this day now, I would love to know how they're going to control Scarefest. I'm baffled of how they're going to do that. Now, they have got time slots, but I'm not being funny when I say this, but how are they going to do that time slot? I genuinely don't know if it's me and my son going, and for example, they have these time slots of they have these Twilight park tickets, don't they? Where I think it's like you're getting at 4 o'clock, which is great, which is fantastic, whatnot. Now the mazes say it starts at say 4:45. So what have I got to do all 3 mazes at 4:45? There is no indication. I don't know anything about the times. You look on their website now. If you try to book a scare maze, it will give you a certain time, which is great. However, though, it doesn't tell you what time you need to be at that one particular maze. It just says 3 mazes, quarter to 5. And it's like, well, that's great. But which maze am I doing first? There is no indication. There is no information at all on any of this Scarefest or Fright Nights. It's absolutely useless. It's panic. That's what it is.
Yeah, definitely. Like I remember because I filmed a construction update back in July, a couple of days after they reopened, and I will say this straight up, and I even said in the video, there was not a single bit of construction going on whatsoever. Like, for example, the Platform 15 area, that was dead silent. Normally, in July/August, you normally have something going on, like them moving a couple of things around. With this, it was dead silent. There was nothing going on. And then they've decided, thing is, Alton Towers had already confirmed Oktoberfest, and I think Thorpe jumped on that bandwagon to try and get some money in. From what I've heard, Thorpe lost a shit ton. They lost a shit ton those first couple of months. So they saw that Towers was doing Oktoberfest. Obviously, I can't really talk about Oktoberfest because I only experienced the Thorpe Park one and not the Towers one, so I can't compare the two. But I will say this now, to be honest, the Towers one looks slightly more organised.
Yeah, it was. I think they had the space for it, and they. It's hard to explain. They had the space for it, but like I had Dan on my podcast, and he did mention a good point. It's kind of like the minute you left that field, it was Alton Towers again. Do you know what I mean? There was no theming really around the park or any music. I know, like or soundtracks, not like Thorpe Park where you had it on Detonator or Stealth. You heard all that announcements and stuff all in like that German kind of form. But nah, mate, it's awful, mate. And do you know what's the scariest thing about it is, mate? I don't think this is the end. I think it's going to happen roll into 2021 as well. If you want my honest opinion, everyone keeps going on about 2020 can go do one. I think it's going to roll until 2021.
Yeah, definitely. Like, this is the thing is, like, we said earlier about how they're going to do the time slots at Towers. The one thing I'm worried about is, as I mentioned earlier on here before you came on, was you've got Platform 15 and Creek Freaks Unchained both in the same area. You've got Platform coming out where Creek Freaks Unchained is happening. So the thing I'm worried about is how are they going to stop the two groups mixing? How are they going to stop the Creek Freak groups coming through? Because where it is, it's on a corner. It's literally on that first corner. So if you've got Creek Freak coming through, and you've got to think, you've got actors running around in there as well, how the hell are they going to stop maybe groups mixing? From what I've heard with like Platform, what they're going to do, batching, from what I've heard, I'm not sure if this is true or not. Apparently, you're going to be going into the mazes like Roots of Evil on Platform in your households. So if you're in your own, say you're on your own, like I would be, you will end up getting what I call a face it alone experience. Yeah. It's going to be.
I think they should have scrapped it. I genuinely think they should have scrapped it. Like Universal Studios, they thought it's a shame we've lost money, but guess what? We ain't poor, so we'll continue and we'll reset, as they said, in 2021. And I think Alton Towers or Merlin Entertainment or whatever should have just done exactly the same. I genuinely don't know how they're going to batch these people together in your households. And that's another thing is what I was worried. Is this going to ruin your experience then? Are they going to be rushing you to like go through so they can get all these people in. So now the whole experience is no longer a, go around that corner, oh, scary, to now going, I'm getting shoved here. Okay, I'm moving, I'm getting on. Do you know what I mean? Is that going to be the case? I don't know, mate. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm a bit angry, I'm a bit cheesed off, a bit annoyed. And you know what? I'm sick and tired of everyone blaming the pandemic. I really am sick and tired of it. Other places are doing okay. It's just an easy thing to turn around and say, oh, it's the pandemic. It's the pandemic. That's what it is. Yeah, it's the COVID. Yeah, it's that. It's just an easy way to label it. Yes, it's been difficult and it has caused issues. However, though, there are things that we can change around it. Don't use it as a fucking excuse. Oh, you see, you set me off. I was all right till I came on here.
Mate, if you want to go for it, go for it. Honestly, like,
no, man.
My audience don't give a shit. Anyway, they've heard me say that Merlin always are making cuts. Like,
Merlin. Go on.
Like when I did your quiz the other night, when picture of Walking Dead came up, that is why I said that is what happens when a retheme goes wrong. It's a perfect example. And the fact that, don't get me wrong, yes, it was an absolute crazy sort of stream, but the fact that I said that, and then there was an awkward silence, like, did he seriously say that about Merlin?
Oh, mate, I slag him off all day. I couldn't give two shits. Someone even said to me, the minute I sent that video out, someone said, oh, Danny, I'd be careful what you say. Do Merlin owe me? Do I get any promotion from Merlin? Do they give me free tickets? Do they sponsor me? Nothing at all. I'm a paying customer. Thank you very much. Yeah, I may not be paying at the gate, but I pay Merlin like monthly. I can say what I want to say about Merlin. I think their imagination's shite. I don't think there's any creativity in that place at all. I think in my eyes, they're just there. Do you know what it reminds me of? Honestly, it reminds me, you may not be a football player. You may have not football players, football fans on here or anything like that. But what I'm saying is it's a bit like a football team and they want to get the best player. But you know what? The owner likes to bag in that money from your ticket or your revenue. They don't care. They don't care what people want. And I think it's time that us people as enthusiasts actually have a say. To be fair, I think it's been a while now that these companies like Merlin have just chucked in absolute garbage of rides. Now, yeah, don't get me wrong, Wicker Man was great. It was, and I'm not going to take that away. It was a good ride. But when was the last time Thorpe Park had a ride? 2012, I think it was 2012, was Stealth?
No, that was Swarm.
Swarm, sorry. Yeah, 2012. That was their last coaster.
If anything, I've said this before on this channel. I've said those who kept saying, "Oh, we're going to get a coaster in 2020 or 2021." I can tell you now, the year that we will get a coaster is most likely to be the middle of this decade. They need to make enough money back first, and this is probably one of the reasons.
And this is it's kind of. The only way to stop this, mate, is to say, well, don't go to these parks. Because the minute you keep going to them parks, they're making money. So in their eyes, they're thinking, why would I want to spend 12 million on a roller coaster where I'm still making the same amount of money? Why do I need to do that? Now, this is why I want London Resort to happen. It needs to happen. Just to give this Merlin a kick up the backside saying, way up. There is no competition out there in the UK. There is no competition. I'm not being funny. Not your Flamingos or your Alton Towers, because obviously, not Alton Towers, sorry, like Flamingo Land or Lightwater Valley or Blackpool. I think Blackpool is the only one, but let's be honest, Blackpool haven't got that much space to do that kind of recreation of stuff. So, nah, mate. At the moment, Merlin are walking. They are the kings. They are like, yes, we can do what we want to do. But I don't want to put a ride in there. I'm not going to put a ride in there. I don't care what you think. I'm making X, Y amount of money. I don't need to do that. And hopefully, fingers crossed, mate, this London Resort, mate, is going to come in and then literally knock it out of the park, mate, in my eyes.
Yeah, I will say Merlin have made some really bad decisions over the last 8 years.
Bring back two swords. They knew what customers wanted, guests. They asked.
Yeah, loads of people have said to me, like, Two Swords, the difference between Thorpe Park when it was Two Swords and, like, what it is now. You know, like Fright Nights is a perfect example. When Two Swords owned it, it was all original ideas, no IPs, all original ideas.
Yeah.
Since Merlin have come in, they brought in, for example, Lionsgate film studios to bring. They brought in Saw Alive, they brought in Cabin in the Woods, Blair Witch, Walking Dead, all that. You know, that's all it's been. I think this is the first year in about probably 7 years that Thorpe have had original like attractions. As far as I'm aware, there is nothing on here on the lineup this year that is IP based. It is all original ideas. And I will say this, and loads of people who've seen this lineup will disagree with me. The one attraction that I genuinely think isn't going to be good this year is the Howling of Lycanthrope High. That is just a cheap werewolf theme. Like,
Oh, mate, I tell you. Well, listen, dude, I got to go, man. I said to you, sorry, mate. I thought I'd just jump on here for like 10, 15 minutes just to kind of back you up, dude, and discuss stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, obviously, we'll try. Message me in a bit, and we'll try and get you on for like a proper stream.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Definitely, mate. Sorry that I've come on here and literally gone, you know, no one wants to hear that.
Like, I wanted to hear everything you've said is exactly what I genuinely thought if Dan came on here, that's what he's going to say.
Yep, absolutely, mate.
Well,
thank you for having me on, mate. Anyway, you're a legend.
Yeah, no worries. Drop me a message in a bit and we'll organise like a proper like evening to do something.
Yeah, definitely, man. Good times, man. Good times. All right, man. Well, anyway, listen, you take care of yourself, mate, and see you, viewers. Take care.
Brilliant. Give it up for Coaster Dan, ladies and gentlemen. I do apologise if anyone got offended by that. Not my issue. You know, if you got offended by anything, you know, just you know, you don't have to go to these parks, you know. But yeah, give it up for Coaster Dan, a brilliant guy. Make sure to go check out his channel. But like I was saying, as I said earlier, Howling at Lycanthrope High, it's not. I'm going to say this now. Howling at Lycanthrope High this year is not going to be a scare zone. I will tell you now, from construction that's going on, it does not look like a scare zone. It looks more of like a show than a scare zone. It feels like it's just going to be a show. It's not going to be a scare zone. It's. Let me try and get a construction picture up. You know, we're going to try and get. Let me try and get a construction picture up of them howling at Lycanthrope High. Just give me a second, guys. So, yeah, we'll quickly. I'm going to try and get a picture of what Howling at Lycanthrope High currently looks like, construction-wise. You know, I will say this: it looks like it's going to be more of a show than an actual scare zone. Don't get me wrong. Like, for me personally, as Dan said, I'm starting to think. I think they should have just cancelled Fright Nights, but I think it's because, you know, you had, how can I put it? You had the Karens. You know, you would eventually have the Karens moaning, like some of the diehard, like, I don't know what to say to that, you know. Yeah, like, Fright Nights is going to be interesting this year. Like I say, guys, I will be producing some sort of content from Fright Nights at the end of this week. So, for example, I'm going to try and do some filming in Creek Freaks and having a look at all the scare zones and filming stuff. But, guys, I think I'm going to end it here. It's now 20 to 6. We've been doing this for about an hour. So, yeah, you know, tonight was fun. It was great to talk to Coaster Dan. Hang on, I'm going to put something on screen. Give me a second. Okay, right, boom. Okay, there. Guys, make sure you guys subscribe to Coaster Dan. Make sure to go check out the Off the Tracks podcast and the viewer takeovers. You never know, you might see me on there eventually. Or, well, actually, you saw me on there on the podcast version, and then you saw me do the quiz. But guys, that's the end of this stream. I'm going to finish it here. Thanks to Coaster Dan for coming on very short notice. Guys, we will see you. I'll probably do a video in another couple of days. Don't forget, this Friday I am at Fort Park Fright Nights. If you do see me around, come and say hi, have a selfie. I met a couple of people at Oktoberfest the other day, which was brilliant. But guys, stay safe, and I'll see you again soon. I might do a live stream review of Fright Nights the day after. Guys, stay safe. See you all at